intentional creativity workshop. I'm Svetlana Pritzker, relationship and intentional creativity coach. And with me is Alex Drummond.
And I'm owner of Unfiniteus Rocks and Juice, an organic juice bar and jewelry and crystal shop in Chicago.
And this is our third segment of the program. And we're going to bring it all together. So you will understand all the concepts that we were talking about and how they relate to your everyday life. Because it's great to know that there are sacred objects and wonderful gold and silver chalices and beautiful crystals, 6 feet Helena in your store. But what it has to do with actually how I live? Well, it's a very close relationship. Because the lower my frequency becomes when I'm tired, when something is not happening the way I want to, or something slips away and I forget, the higher I need to come up in order to fix things in my life. And you all know that once you go into this low emotional state, it's very hard to come up, especially if you live in relationship with somebody else. When you're alone, maybe you're okay, but then somebody comes along, says something or does something, and all your consciousness is gone. So these objects, crystals, beautiful chalices like that, and understanding how you use it in your everyday life can actually save your life, because when your vibration is low, you are resonating at the level of parasites and bacteria and viruses, and you get sick. But when you are aware of your frequency, you can lift it, you can bring it to the level where angels resonate. And then your well-being is in your hands. So first of all, we have organic juices. So 2 words about that. How that can help us to feel better, to elevate frequency, because it's not just what you eat. There is something else about it.
When you're drinking juice, you're removing all the fiber, so everything can act very quickly in your body, but you have to be careful that it is organic, because to raise your frequency, you want only the good things, and chemicals and pesticides are not good things.
Right. So every juice has a color, right? When I come to your store, there's red and green and yellow and golden and everything in between. And so colors are frequencies as well. So when you drink juices, for example, you elevate your consciousness, you elevate your well-being, and you also bring in the frequencies that you need. Same thing with crystals. We talked about this being red, survival, first chakra. But there is also orange and yellow and green and blue and purple and these higher realms which are crystal clear and blue. So every time you take a crystal, you buy a crystal, you're just not buying a beautiful thing. You're also buying a frequency that when you have a feeling of pressure, that somebody really wants you to do things that you don't want to do or you're not ready to do, you actually can take that crystal and you can sit with it and you can actually place it on that chakra that's being disturbed. And that relationship between you and the crystal will absolutely align you to the right frequency. For example, solar plexus frequency is often disturbed. So putting a yellow color, drinking yellow juice, or touching the yellow crystal actually let your solar plexus, which is the nervous system ganglia, everything is connecting here, relax and breathe. So I actually want to ask you, what do you do with objects like that, and why even it's gold and silver, and what are your thinking and frequencies and lights and how that all relates, because this is your creation, yeah? You put some intention into it, intentional creation.
Well, the chalice is gold and silver. It represents solar and lunar energy, or masculine and feminine energy. And a lot of symbols in the chalice show the binary experience, or the experience of opposites or opposing sides that we have. And it also has an ascended perspective as well, with 3 things. So when you're drinking this, it is making the conscious connection that we are encompassing everything in our realm that is able to be perceived in our binary experience, and drinking illumination, where the liquid is held in the gold, and underneath at the bottom it's very hard to see, but there's a phenakite crystal, which is one of the highest stones, highest frequency stones to stimulate the third eye, which is very important in obtaining knowledge and eternal life. And to partake in a ceremony that encompasses all of these things helps us put our conscious mind on it, and it actually does become an elixir of life. It actually does with our conscious connection and the charge that everything making the chalice brings. It charges the frequency, very similar to Dr. Emoto's experiments. Water is a malleable substance, and they use it as an example, but it's more than water. It's every crystalline substance, every molecule, and we can pass on information or frequency to a liquid. It's very easy, and this chalice helps us do that, all while incorporating the entirety of our experience with the intention of prolonging or expanding that experience.
So what you're talking about is that when you drink something, it matters what you drink it from.
Yes.
Right? And this is a very simple concept. We all have cups, right? So in your home, the cups that you use actually are the cups that can bring your vibration up or down. So next time you're in the kitchen, look and see what's going on those cups. Because some of them have very strange words. And then Google Dr. Emoto's work with water and see how every word or every image in the cup actually affects what you're drinking and how it uplifts or dominates your consciousness and how your body responds to that and how your well-being responds to that. But there is an interesting thing about this cup that you don't know yet, but I do. So I want you to put your hand like that. Okay. And you might see that there is a flower of life on this man's hand, because everything he touches with his hand actually translates the flower of life and imprints the energy of that flower of life. And I also wear today the flower of life. It has two sides, interestingly enough, the silver one and this solar one. And for me, it not only presents feminine and masculine in our life, but also the rhythm of our life, awakening and falling asleep, which we all do. But how would it look like if you will be always awake? I'm not saying don't rest. I'm saying during the day if you don't fall asleep. Because we fall asleep very often, all the time, pretty much. Blinking out in existence, and back and forth into our existence and out of it. So when you wear objects like that, when you have a chalice that has that same flower of life, and you drink from that, you bring the ancient symbols from which life is being created into your physical body. So can you talk about flower of life a little bit?
Yeah.
What is it and why it's so important?
From what I know, the flower of life represents the way consciousness moves, and when you draw the circles, and it's hard to explain, but when you make all of the motions to the point where it is the flower of life, it's contained by two circles, which represent this binary experience we're having, and it also represents the part of an egg. So it's kind of like we're contained in an egg, and from these shapes we can basically get everything that we can perceive tangibly from the flower of life. We get Metatron's cube, and Metatron's cube can pull every platonic solid from. So basically from this imagination, these shapes that we can do with our imagination, we get every single shape that we find on the elements in the periodic table of elements. So basically every known substance or matter is created by the fundamentals of this starting shape. Yeah, and why it's so important is that we do not perceive ourselves as geometric shapes, because we're circular, but circle is a very specific geometric shape. It's a circle of life, and it's a magical circle, and it's a red thread circle that you were talking about just a minute ago, the blood that connects us. I actually hold red thread circles in my community in which we create intentionally, and we open our creative genius, and we share what we can do, and the next one is coming next Wednesday. So you can find this information on Meetup. It's Svetlana Pritzker if you look for me. But what's important here is
if you look at that shape that is made out of triangular shapes and eventually creates a crystal, it's two pyramids connected at one level. Our consciousness, our physical body is actually held within that structure. And people who are clairvoyant can even see that. But most importantly, if we understand ourselves as the geometrical shapes and beautiful paintings, if you overimpose the flower of life on it, you will see how flower of life fits in every part of your body. Then you will understand that just like a flower of life, everything is connected to within the flower of life, and everything is connected within your life. So when you choose things for your home, for your kitchen, when you choose beautiful objects like that to create a ritual in your house, you are not only connected to beauty, you're also connected to lineages of people, the bloodline, the red thread of all the mothers and fathers before you. So did you think about that when you were creating that? Did you create it for yourself, for people, for selling? What is that? Where it came from?
I created it for myself to do rituals because I'm interested in prolonging and expanding my experience.
Right.
So,
and how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 29
okay.
years on the planet.
So, like I said, 29 years on this planet, but much more, your older consciousness is that. And creating something for yourself at that age, for me, is inspiration, because young people are looking for something like that. You see people with tattoo and all kinds of things in their body, because they're looking for sacred. They're looking for something where they can come in one with unity, with the universe, with consciousness. And you being a beacon of light in that community, actually bringing things together where people can touch and know something higher than just a kitchen cup, and bring it into your life in a way that translates into your the next generation, your children and the children of your children, is absolutely admirable, and it's absolutely important for this time on the planet. So I'd like to thank you for being with us today and sharing your knowledge and wisdom. You're an incredible, wise person. And I would like to invite our listeners and people who watch this broadcast to your store, Unfiniteus in Chicago, because just by being there, your frequency is elevated.